In the world of professional development, we are taught the gospel of availability. We are told that to be successful, we must be responsive, approachable, and eager to please. We are trained to reply to emails within minutes, to say yes to every invitation, and to speak with a warmth that signals we are desperate for connection. This belief is fundamentally incomplete. In fact, it is a strategic deception that keeps you in the middle tier. In the highest tiers of global influence, among the old money families of Europe, the tech titans of Silicon Valley, and the sovereign leaders of Asia, status is not built on availability, it is built on selective inaccessibility. These individuals do not participate in a conversation, they grant a conversation. They use a specific linguistic filter that signals they are the prize in the room, not the petitioner. If you are too available, too clear, and too eager, you are signaling that your time has no value. I am Grace, and this is Trinity English Scholar. Today, we are initiating a new pillar of the Cultural Decoder. We are moving into the psychology of the gap. We will explore how to use language to create a social vacuum that pulls people toward you rather than you pushing toward them. Before we begin, subscribe to this channel. To move in circles of high-status inaccessibility, your mind must be as refined as the environments you seek to enter. Trinity is the only curriculum that provides the deep-layer linguistic engineering required to turn your presence into a scarce commodity. As we begin, I want to pose a second-layer question that will remain unanswered until the final moments. Why is a perfectly clear 5-minute explanation often less persuasive than a 30-second incomplete abstract? Why does total clarity often lead to a loss of respect? The answer lies in the architecture of the human ego, and we will decode it at the end of this hour. Today, we move beyond basic communication and focus on one core mechanism, the linguistic ellipsis. In literature, an ellipsis is a set of dots signaling that something has been left out. In social strategy, the ellipsis is the art of calculated omission. Most people suffer from information dumping. They feel that if they explain every detail of their work, they will look smart. In reality, they look like a salesperson. A Trinity scholar uses the ellipsis to signal that their core knowledge is so deep that they only need to share the surface result. We use high-concept shorthand. We use words that imply a vast amount of background work without explaining the work itself. We use terms like synergistic overlap, structural integrity, and non-negotiable baseline. By omitting the how-to and focusing only on the high-level truth, you create a knowledge gap. The listener realizes they don't quite understand how you reached your conclusion, which creates a subconscious sense of your superiority. You are not hiding information, you are signaling that your time is too valuable to spend on the basics. If you provide everything, you are a servant. If you provide the outcome and withhold the method, you are a master. In this segment, visualize your speech as an executive summary. If they want the details, they must earn them by asking the right questions. This forces the other person to pursue you for clarity. We have now established the mechanism of the ellipsis. Take a breath. What we are about to do now is a full-body autopsy of 3 social scenarios. We will contrast the eager participant, the person who loses status by being too clear, with the Trinity scholar, the person who wins the room by remaining selectively inaccessible. This is where your transformation becomes clinical. Notice how the scholar uses fewer words but carries more weight. Walkthrough 1, the elevator pitch trap. Imagine you are at a high-end conference and a major investor asks, What is your project about? The non-Trinity scholar enters pitch mode. In this walkthrough, the student speaks quickly, their pitch rises, and they say, "Oh, it's a new app that helps people save money on groceries. We use a special algorithm to find the best prices, and we already have 5,000 users, and we are growing fast. I'd love to show you a demo right now." By giving away the whole story and offering a demo immediately, you have eliminated the gap. You have made yourself too available. The investor now feels they own the information and can dismiss you. You look like a petitioner begging for attention. The Trinity scholar uses the ellipsis. In this walkthrough, the scholar remains perfectly still. They say, "We are currently optimizing a proprietary framework for high-frequency consumer arbitrage. The initial traction suggests a significant divergence from standard market benchmarks. I'm evaluating which partnerships align with our long-term trajectory." They didn't say it's an app. They used proprietary framework and arbitrage. They didn't offer a demo. They said they are evaluating partnerships. By omitting the groceries and the how-to, you have forced the investor to ask, "Wait, what kind of arbitrage?" You have successfully pulled the investor into your frame. You are now the one being pursued. Walkthrough 2. Handling a performance review or critique. Imagine a superior says, "I'm not sure this report is as deep as we needed." The non-Trinity scholar reacts with defensive over-explanation. In this walkthrough, the student says, "I'm so sorry, I spent 40 hours on this. I looked at the X data and the Y data, and I even called the team in London. I can go back and add more pages if you want. Just tell me what you need." You have just confessed that you are a worker. By apologizing and listing your hours, you have signaled that your value is based on labor, not intellect. You have also given the superior the power to order more work from you like a servant. The Trinity scholar uses selective inaccessibility. In this walkthrough, the scholar looks at the report with detached interest and says, "The current iteration was designed to provide high-level strategic clarity by omitting peripheral data noise. If the objective has shifted toward granularity, we can trigger a secondary analytical phase." They didn't apologize. They framed the lack of depth as a design choice to avoid data noise. They didn't ask, "What do you want?" They spoke about triggering a secondary phase. They have maintained the gap. The superior now feels that they perhaps missed the high-level point, rather than the scholar failing the task. Walkthrough 3. Resolving the clear abstract riddle. Now, let us return to our opening question. Why is a perfectly clear 5-minute explanation often a failure? The non-Trinity scholar gives a perfect, simple explanation. The listener understands everything. The listener says, "Oh, I get it now, thanks," and walks away. By being perfectly clear, you have made yourself obsolete. Once they understand the information, they no longer need you. You have closed the gap. The Trinity scholar provides the incomplete abstract. They explain the what, but not the how. They use words like mechanistic and optimization. The listener says, "I understand the goal, but I don't see how the pieces fit." The scholar has created a vacuum. The listener is now dependent on the scholar to bridge that gap. This is why consultants and leaders are paid, not for the information they give, but for the information they hold. By remaining inaccessible in your logic, you remain indispensable in your role. The linguistic ellipsis is your tool for creating status distance. But distance alone is cold. To be a true global sovereign, you must eventually bridge that distance with the acoustics of dominance. We have learned today how to use words to pull people toward you. But in our next session, we will explore the physics of the lead. We will analyze why the way you enter a room before you even speak a word of your ellipsis determines if the gap works for you or against you. We will move from the lexis of omission to the phonetics of the commander. Your homework this week is to perform an explanation audit. The next time someone asks you, "How did you do that?" or "What do you think?" give them a 2-sentence response that uses one high-concept word, trajectory, calibration, or optimization, and then stop talking. Do not explain the how. Wait for them to ask the next question. Observe the power of the silence you have created. Write your 2-sentence ellipsis in the comments below. I am Grace. At Trinity English Scholar, we are building more than your vocabulary. We are building your legend. I will see you in the next frame.